Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Chain of Memories, Boss Guide, Boss Battle, whatever you want to call it. In this episode, we're facing Captain Hook of Neverland. Neverland. That's where I feel like I got my Peter Pan syndrome. Okay, let me explain to you what Peter Pan syndrome is. I don't actually have an actual syndrome. I must apologize if, like, anyone else I offend anybody, but this is sort of like, it's sort of like, you know, Peter Pan syndrome is like, Peter Pan's a kid, right? He always will be one. He'll never grow up, and I feel like I have that sort of because I'm 16 and people expect you to grow up, but I actually didn't. I don't know, I still act like I'm a 10-year-old. Honestly, at times I act really immature and I feel like I act like a 5 to 10-year-old to whatever. So this is where I definitely blame for me getting that. So as you can see, Peter Pan isn't as effective in this balance. You have a big one because he has a random value card, so which is pretty gambly of him to have one of those cards. So it gives you a random value from 0 to like 9. So it's pretty tricky. It's pretty cool. I wish I could get that kind of card so I could just play around with it. But you know what I mean, right? So yeah, so that's why I sort of felt like, you know, I never wanted to grow up and everything, and I still don't feel like I want to grow up. I'm like, I turned 16 like a couple months ago, and maybe I'm in like this. I'm in junior grade, which is known as grade 11 for high schoolers, and I just don't want to. I just don't want to act I don't want to act like my age. That's all I'm saying. I want to be young forever. But then, you know, no responsibilities, no problems in the world, you know. But there's some adventures growing up, I think. I have no idea, but, you know, whatever, I guess. So, let me get back to the actual boss guide. So, he has barrel burst, which obviously he unleashes a couple of barrels on you, which explode, if you haven't seen. So, that's pretty cool. Not really cool, but, you know, if you have high enough HP, you'll survive it. But, you know, I don't invest your HP anymore. I invest into card points, so you don't need HP that much in this game, unless if you have bad card, so which you shouldn't. And he also has a, what's it called? His like little sword to jujitsu move, and he likes to jump a lot. Did I mention he likes to jump? I think he's a frog. Yeah, he's a freaking frog. And he does like a little sword attack, which is like a little berserk melee attack, which isn't. Yeah, you can just roll away back. See that? At some points he'll do that sword attack, but if you're really near him, he'll do it. But see, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. His Kaioken berserk attack. Yeah, so just carry good ass sleets, and hopefully me using sleets will make the battle a lot more interesting for y'all, because sleets can really make a battle really interesting or boring, and me risking a bit. So he has. But what's more important about him is watching out about his cards. He has two sort of like card things. He has like the all zeros, which basically make all his cards unbreakable or breakable. Because remember, remember what Leon said, that a zero card is good as long as it can, like, if you use it like late in the thing, it'll be no one can break it. But if you use it too early, your opponents can break it. I think that's what he said. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what he said. So basically, and he also has his zero random card, which is a pretty gambly perk. So, but his zero cards only work if he reloads. So if he reloads, it's basically gone. That's your chance to go in on him. Yeah, and I was actually trying to do lethal flare. If anyone's wondering why I have stop cards, because lethal flare is what you get in level 32. You don't choose a sword or shield or anything. If you're wondering, obviously you know it, right? But you know, you basically like, you get to like stop time, and you get to do a lot of damage to him. Don't worry, it works with bosses. Stop itself doesn't work, but lethal flare does. You need a stop and 2 attack cards. It can be any amount, which is really the reason why it's so OP. So honestly, that was not Peter Pan, that was Captain Hook. So if any of you enjoyed this episode, found it entertaining, found it useful, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see y'all next time.